Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Now, the second topic of Unit 7 we are going to take here, that is Green Revolution, where we will do the discussion over the meaning of Green Revolution and its consequences. What were the impacts of bringing this Green Revolution? And this was also the state reform here we can mention, which was adopted by or initiated by states. Meaning of Green Revolution, if we talk, here the word green refers to the fields and the term revolution indicates a substantial change. So, while we are talking about bringing the changes in the field, in the agricultural sector, here we can relate this term to that sector, agricultural sector. We are asking about or we are talking about bringing the changes in that agricultural fields here. The availability of adequate food grains was a serious problem till recently. And if we talk about as the population is increasing, and with the increasing population, if we talk about the demand for food is also increasing, but the production, if we talk about the supply, is less. The reason is the different factors are responsible for that why we are not able to fulfill the demand of these food grains. As we know that India could be self-sufficient in that, but different problems or the obstacles are there which are leading to the problem in this agricultural sector. And in order to solve this problem of food shortage, basically a new strategy was adopted in around early 1960s, so that the changes can be brought and some positive result could be seen. The strategy which was adopted was based on the thinking that intensive applications of science and technology. So, the strategy based on the thinking, this particular strategy was adopted just based on thinking that these intensive application of science and technology would lead to massive increase in production of food grains, which is going to increase the production, and definitely the demand for these food grains will be fulfilled. And this consisted of the following factors were adopted for under this strategy. The first one was high yielding variety, that was HYV seeds developed in laboratories as opposed to traditional available seeds on farms. So, here in laboratories, if we talk about high yielding variety seeds were developed, and with the aim, because these seeds are going to increase the production of food grains, so that was the main motto of this strategy. The second one, if we talk about inorganic or chemical fertilizers were used as opposed to the traditional organic fertilizers like leaves and animal dung. Instead of using the leaves, animal dung or manure, the organic manure, the more focused was given on organic and the chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Thirdly, if we talk about adequate controlled water supply through irrigation by canals and tube wells was initiated under this strategy instead of depending only on the monsoon. Because in our country, if we talk about earlier, before adopting these three strategies under that Green Revolution, the normal seeds or the traditional available seeds were used, and if we talk about the organic fertilizers, so that were based on the natural animal dung or the leaves. And if we talk about for the water supply, farmers were totally dependent on monsoon. So, these three different strategies were introduced which with the aim to improve the production in agricultural sector. The Intensive Agricultural District Program, that was IADP, was popularly known as Package Program, that was also started in 1961. It resulted in giving rise to new program called the Intensive Agricultural Areas Programs, that was IAAP. And when this program was adopted in 1961. That was Intensive Agricultural District Program. Result were positive, means it led to increase in production, and that's why to bring more changes in that, this program was started. That was IAAP. And beside that, some other schemes like the Small Farmers Development Agencies, Marginal Farmers and Agricultural Labourers Development Schemes, that is MFALDS, were also initiated, were also started. And slowly and gradually the change was visible. The change was there in the production, and the production was, here we can say the production was increasing in agricultural sector. Now we are going to talk about the social consequences of this green revolution. Means here we'll do the discussion over that what were the impacts or the outcomes were visible of green revolution on society. Following are some of the consequences here. The first one, this had a destabilizing effect on small and the marginal farmers. Although we can say that green revolution definitely brought drastic changes in Indian production in agricultural sector, or it led to intensive increase in production. It actually solved, here if we talk about the green revolution, actually solved the problem of food shortage in India, and it also had changed the mindset of the Indian farmers who adopted modern techniques. Means earlier somewhere they were hesitated in adopting all these techniques, and but when these techniques or the strategies were adopted and the results were visible, so it was appreciated by these farmers and they started taking interest in that. But the green revolution, if we talk about, had both desirable and undesirable impact. It was, the impact of green revolution was not uniform at all. It was not same for all the farmers or all the people of society. Here we can see that this had a destabilizing effect on a small and the marginal farmers, whereas it proved fruitful or advantageous for, we can say it was advantageous for rich farmers as compared to the poor or the marginal farmers. And what was the reason behind it? See, because these rich farmers, if we talk about, or the prosperous farmers or the prosperous landowners, it was easy for them to purchase this HYV seeds or purchasing those fertilizer, or even getting the access to irrigation, modern irrigation facilities. But it was not possible by these small or the marginal farmers. They were not able to afford all these things. So we can say that how it affected both the group, both if we have divided it into two parts, the rich and the prosperous farmer, at one point, and the other was small and the marginal farmers. So we can say the result was not at all uniform, because one were able to get the access to all these factors for production, but rest were not. The secondly, we talk about many sharecroppers have become landless laborers, because the affluent farmers, if we talk about the prosperous farmers, they were enjoying the fruits of green revolution. It resulted in their increased income also, so they were getting the benefit from that. But the agricultural laborers, if we talk about, have not benefited, because if we talk about real agricultural wages were not increased. Wages were same. So the labor, those who were working on these lands, they were not able to get any advantage or any benefit out of this green revolution. And beside that, if we talk about many sharecroppers, they became landless because they could not get land for sharecropping. So this kind of problems or the consequences or result or outcomes were visible. The third one, if we talk about, economic inequality in agrarian sector has widened. And this economic inequality, we talk about the gap between the rich and poor has increased, because the rich farmer, those who were very prosperous one and were getting the access to all the factors, the HYV seeds, fertilizers and the better irrigation facilities, they were becoming more richer. But the poor farmer, those who were not able to afford all these things, they were becoming more poorer. Even many of them became landless laborers. So this was widening the gap between these two groups, and it has increased the agrarian unrest, which resulted in large number of tensions and conflict, and even it led to the violence in the different areas in Indian society. The next one, if we talk about the another impact that here in detail we can mention, the green revolution has not been uniform. So in the above points also we have discussed that how the green revolution was not at all uniform or same or equal for all. Firstly, we talk about green revolution has taken place mainly in Punjab, Haryana. So these were the few states: Punjab, Haryana, western part of UP was there, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra. So these were few states which initiated this green revolution, and the result was positive. But many other states were there in different areas where the result or the consequences were negative, like the emergence of capitalist farmers started taking place there. The sex ratio unfavorable to women also started, because they were looking for the farmers for their land, the labor they were looking for. So many problems started arising. So it was not at all uniform, and when it was implemented in these states, rest of the states were not getting any benefit because of this green revolution. So the inequality among the people within the society, within the particular state, if we talk about, was also arise. Beside that, gap between the states, if we talk about the condition of the states, also occurred. Means some states were getting more rich and the other were not getting any benefit of that. So overall, if we talk about, inequality was prevailing in Indian society due to this green revolution. And despite of these limitations that we have discussed here, that the destabilizing effect on the small farmer and marginal farmers, and landless laborer or the sharecroppers, they become landless laborer, or economic inequality, and as well as about the not having the uniform impact of green revolution. Despite of these limitations, if we talk about, this green revolution have paved the way for faster economic growth and corresponding social change in Indian society. And it actually, if we talk about the positive impact of that, so somewhere we were able to be the self-sufficient. And when this green revolution was initiated, so it was resulting in bringing the change in society also, where the people's economic status also started increasing. Means although it was not uniform for all, but somewhere if we talk about only the positive point, in that way we can say that people were getting prosperous, they were getting advantage, the more production was there, they were having access to better or more facilities in their areas.